Another episode of the Stakes Up podcast. I'm your host, Brain Freeman. It's officially game week. The first game of the 2023 season kicks off this Saturday in Waco as the Bobcats embark on the G.J. Kinney era. Looking forward very much to that this weekend over in Waco. A lot happening in fall sports right now, as well as the new athletic years upon us in 23-24. And with the new year kind of here, we now bring on athletic director Don Coryell, who's going to be answering some of the questions from our fans in this Ask the AD podcast we've done before. But Don doing it for the first time on video. Looking good, my man.
Hey, thanks, Brent. You really upgraded the podcast, you know. We always kind of joke around a little bit about being in the bunker together there, but man, video and all, I'm ready to go. Excited.
Video got some noise padding right here, man. Like, where you?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, are you in the same spot? I don't even recognize it.
The beauty of camera angles is a marvelous thing, Don. I'll just say that much.
I understand. I'm trying to work on mine.
Yeah, your space looks pretty good there too. So, so again, we got questions from our fans over social media, several different channels over the past few days, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, Facebook and Instagram. We're going to get to those questions here momentarily. But Don, first, I wanted to address your letter to the fans last week that you released, kind of in anticipation of the beginning of a new year. A few things you hit on within that letter. I'd like to kind of get a little bit more from you about it. And I want to start with the update that you had in the letter about the Football Performance Center at Bobcat Stadium. What is the latest on that?
Well, it was really important for me. We hadn't really come out and said publicly, how much of this, new project we were going to be able to do. And I kind of talked at different points about, hey, we're hoping we don't have to phase this project in. We want to try to do it all, but hadn't really come out and said, hey, we're moving forward with everything. So that was kind of the intent of that letter, was to let everybody know that, we were able to get everything into the project that we wanted to do. We're going full steam, 100% with it. It's going to be a beautiful facility. We're going to do everything right. So we're going to have the new weight room. We're going to have the new athletic training facilities with hydrotherapy tubs. We're going to have the coaches' offices. Some of the things that I thought if we had to scale back, we might not be able to do. For example, connecting the concourses to the new facility, into the new 8,000 square foot patio deck that we're going to have above the weight room that our fans are going to be able to hang out on. The third level hospitality space is going to be above the warm room. We're going to be able to do that as well. We're putting some modifications to the kitchen area in the warm room so we can get a little bit more use out of that. But just excited that we're able to move forward with everything. It's going to be a game changer, I think, for our recruiting. Our student athletes, they live in that building, right? So, making sure that they have a great home is obviously really important to us. It was important to Coach Kenny. And really just wanted to share that good news with our fan base that, hey, we're going to do everything. We're going to have to phase it in a little bit in terms of the construction, but in terms of doing everything, we're moving forward full steam ahead. We'll have construction fencing up for the football season this year, so that's going to affect our operations a little bit. And when I talk about phasing with the project, what we hope to have completed before 2024 is the weight room, the Will Trevilian weight room that's going to go out towards the south end zone. We hope to have the kind of party patio deck complete on top of it and connect those concourses and hopefully even have that third level hospitality space done before the 24 season. Then we'll essentially kind of vacate the current weight room, move everything into the new weight room, and then start to renovate that interior space with hopes of having everything completed by 2025.
Other aspects of the game day experience being impacted, if you can kind of get into that a little bit. I understand Cats and Garden Kids Zone not going to be around this year?
Yeah, that's two things, and I'm disappointed that we can't continue to do those for this upcoming season. I will tell you that I love them. Like, I love the concept of the Cats Garden and what we were able to do there and the experience it gave to our fans. So I definitely want to take those elements and bring them back into our stadium in 2024. Ideally, in this new kind of party patio space above the weight room. The kids' fun zone, unfortunately, that's going to be our construction laydown area. And there's just not that much space in our facility to do stuff where, parents could still watch the game and kind of have some of these elements for their kids. So we're going to have to put those off for a year, but we promise to get them back, as soon as we have the space to do so again. Those are really important elements. I've had little kids. My kids are a little bit older now, but I know how convenient it is to have something fun for the kids to do. Maybe they're at that age where they don't want to watch football the whole time, but mom and dad do. And so between that and what we're able to do with the Cats Garden, we want that fan experience back. So we think with what we're building, it'll come back better.
Mm-hmm. Other game day changes not necessarily impacted by the construction of the South End Zone complex and the Performance Center. Tailgate Central, that has relocated, and parking is changing a bit this year as well to digital passes.
So the Tailgate Central is a little bit with construction, so that laydown space is actually going to go all the way into that east side parking lot. So we were going to lose some more spaces there due to construction. We moved the tailgate central to the east side in 2019, kind of with the thought of, hey, let's try to mingle more of these student groups with alumni groups and general fans. And because the space was smaller, what happened was all of our students just booked the spots in advance. And so conceptually, I thought it was good to try to integrate these groups. But from a space standpoint, it just didn't work. So we kind of want to take this opportunity. One, we knew we were going to lose space. We're going to make it even smaller, so it's going to be harder to get in that space. We're already turning away some groups and having to put them in other areas that, maybe they didn't want to be in because they weren't kind of in the mix. So we're going to move Tailgate Central back to, I still call it the Strand lot, the big lot right across the street from the UEC. It's got a lot more space. It's got, hundreds more parking spots. We tailgated there for a long time. I thought it was successful then. So I expect it to be successful again. And essentially it's just going to allow us to accommodate more people.
Yeah. It's been no secret, Don, that this summer has been one of the hottest ones on record, and the triple-digit temperatures are creeping into the start of the football season as well. And because of that, I understand that was a big driving force behind the kickoff time for the home opener against Jackson State. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We've been at most of the practices and some of them in the evening, and, we're out there at 6 o'clock, and you're looking at that east side of the football stadium, where we ask a lot of our students to sit and general admission fans. And it in my opinion, would be too much. We needed to be a little bit more considerate, I think, of what we're asking people to do. So, talking with Coach Kenny, talking with Kelly Dampus, who's a lot of the practices, we're kind of watching the sun go down at different times. All right, should we do 8 p.m.? Should we do 7:30 p.m.? David Bailiff, I remember, was part of that conversation, and we're all like, all right, we think 7:30 is good. So yeah, we pushed that first game to 7:30. We're gonna have conversations about the Nevada game as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe tweak that time a little bit as well. We'll wait a little bit longer to make those decisions because we've got a little bit more time. But we want to make it. We want to make the experience as fun and enjoyable as possible for our fans, and getting out of the heat helps.
So the home opener, September 16th against Jackson State. The day before, there's a pep rally being hosted over by Zelix, just off the square in St. Marcus. What details can you share about that?
It's just going to be, this is something that Beth Dampus actually really helped drive along with the Chamber of Commerce here. So it's a really good kind of town and gown type relationship and event. They collaborated on it. I kind of got brought in a little bit after the fact, to be honest with you. And they said, hey, can you help us put this on? I said, absolutely. Our department will do what we can. We think it's a great idea. We did something similar back in 2012 when we opened up our FBS football season against Texas Tech. And essentially what we're doing is we're going to take the city block kind of outside of Zelix and North Street and shut that down for the night. We'll have a nice stage set up. There'll be entertainment. We're going to have vendors selling in the street, food, drinks, Bobcat merchandise. We're going to have Coach Kenny out there. We're going to have some of our football players. Our Bobcat marching band is going to be out there, cheerleaders, strutters, and it really is an event to get people excited about Texas State, excited about the start of the football season. And it's kind of a community student thing, right? We want students there, but it's also big for the community as well. Some great partners, with Zelix and Seth and Monica Katz there. Our Chamber of Commerce friends have been great as well. And so looking forward to all of us kind of combining efforts to do something fun on Friday night for people who are going to be in town and for our students who are looking for something to do. This will be a great place to hang out and have a good time.
Remind me, Don, what's the time of the pep rally?
We're going to start around 6 o'clock and kind of tentatively go till 10 p.m. I think we'll have Coach Kenny and some of those football elements closer to around 7:30 or so, because those guys do have to get ready for the game tomorrow, so they can't be out there all night. But so we've got different elements. So essentially entertainment from like 6 to 7:30, some stuff with Coach Kenny and our football team, and then some entertainment afterwards.
Yeah. So again, a lot of hype, towards the upcoming football season. The beginning of a new year happens this week, and as you and I record this podcast, a new era for the program with DJ Kenny now in place. But not getting lost in that is the fact that the fall is already underway for a couple of the other sports for you. Let's start with soccer. In fact, they're already 4 matches into the year. Yeah. Record of 2-2. Won their first 2, lost the last 2, playing some really good competition. But overall, looking pretty solid 4 matches in. What have you seen from Steve Holman's team?
They played UTSA last night, and I thought they played them really well. I know he was happy with the team's effort. North Texas, who we lost to, a really good soccer program. Our 2 wins, I thought were good wins for us. With Central Arkansas in McNeese, but I'm happy with where he's got the program. Incorporating a lot of new players this year, but I think we're going to be really competitive. I think he's got a good team, and had a lot of opportunities last night against UTSA. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize and lost 1-0. But I thought we played a really good game and put ourselves in position to score goals. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and they're back home this Thursday hosting Oklahoma State.
Okay. They got a tough schedule. I think it's great that he's got a Big 12 team coming here to play in San Marcos. You want to test yourself as much as you can, right? Get ready for the Sunbelt. Win the Sunbelt, go to the NCAA tournament. You've played some of these teams at that point. They're really good soccer programs, and I think it helps prepare you. We played exhibition games against TCU and Texas A&M just to do the same thing. Let your team see what that competition is going to look like in postseason, so you don't go in there blind.
Volleyball, meanwhile, they opened their season this past weekend, 1, 2 of 3 at a really competitive tournament in Knoxville, hosted by Tennessee. And they're at home this weekend to play their home openers against North Texas and Houston. Sean Hewitt has done a tremendous job since taking over the helm of that program in 2020.
Yeah, what was his? You said it at our coaches event last week. What was his conference record?
43-5.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I knew it was good. I'm not sure I realized it was that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does a great job. His staff does a great job. We've got the foundation there that, the expectation is we're going to have a really good volleyball program every year. That's how we want it to be with all of our sports. This is the first time he's got to really kind of retool and regroup in a while, in my opinion. We lost a lot of seniors. We're really senior heavy last year with some outstanding players. So, watching him kind of incorporate these new players who maybe were in the program last year, didn't get as much time. It's going to be fun to watch, but they are, they're a little bit less experienced than they've been, but so far so good, right? Played Tennessee really tough, picked up 2 wins on the road, we beat UTSA here in an exhibition match, and so I fully expect us to do really well again in the Sunbelt and be fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Men's, women's golf, they're about to get things going here as well. Cross country is going to start that same date that the football team hosts its home opener. So again, between the 3 sports we just talked about, those on the horizon, a lot happening right now in fall athletics at Texas State.
Yeah, it's a busy time of year, right? Everybody's going. Our other sports are all in action too, practicing or getting ready for their season. So we're in it, man. Summer's well over as far as athletics is concerned. And so, yeah, everything's starting. It's an exciting time.
Yep. All right, Don, on to the fan questions now. I know the part that we all been looking forward to here. And thanks again to all of our great dedicated fans for engaging on social media with their questions for Don. Appreciate that. As he holds up his Bobcat pride up there for us.
A gift from a football letterman, Kyle Harrell, about a decade ago.
Kyle Harrell, a legend in the mid-90s.
True Bobcat legend.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, these questions came from several different social media channels: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The first set of questions, I say set because we got 4 questions regarding conference realignment, and all are kind of in a similar vein. So I'm going to read them out for those who submitted them, Don, and you can kind of answer them all, with one response here. But Beversdoor 179, and I hope I'm saying these handle names right, by the way, excuse me if I'm not. With conference realignment occurring each year, as Texas State looked to leave the Sunbelt, that's the first of the 4. TXST Bobs on Twitter, any thoughts on conference realignment and if this could trickle down to impact Texas State? Another from Twitter, Cute G Experience, what's your opinion on recent conference realignment and where will that leave us in the future? And the last of these 4 from TXST Gameday, also on Twitter, is the Texas State Athletic Department open to conference realignment opportunities?
Yeah, well, you told me there'd be a realignment question, so I'm ready for it with a prop over here. But, I would just tell you, obviously everybody's watching what's going on in college athletics right now and what's going on with the Pac-12 and those sports schools and schools have announced that they're leaving. I would just tell you, I think we're in an unbelievable league, extremely stable league, which is a great place to be. I think our commissioner does an unbelievable job. We're really, really happy. And here's my prop. This is my favorite hat. I wear this SEC hat all the time, so I had it here in the office, so I figured I'd grab it. And I'm probably going to wear it this weekend when we take on Baylor. But really happy with the Sunbelt. I think from the Sunbelt standpoint, from our standpoint, what we can take advantage of is this movement's going to create opportunities for the Sunbelt, right? I think we're the top non-autonomy or group of 5 conference, whatever you want to call it, in the country, and I think this has the opportunity for us to become even stronger. So I'm excited about how this could affect the Sunbelt in potentially a positive way.
So now we have a couple of questions regarding the game day experience, specifically football. First question from Instagram from C.JR9. Can we move band and strutters back to the corner sections of Bobcat Stadium?
I think I've gotten a similar question through email, so it may be the same person I've corresponded with a little bit through email. We can have those discussions. I don't recall all the reasons why those have moved in the past. We've been at different places in the stadium at different points. But again, I'm pretty open to having conversations with people, and I'm okay with where they're at right now. If they love it in other sections, and that's where the band and strutters want to be, we're going to accommodate them as well. So we can have those questions and ask those questions and see what kind of response we get from those groups.
Next one from Twitter, TXST Bobs. Are we taking any measures to help improve student attendance at sporting events, especially given such a big freshman class?
Yeah, we always put a heavy emphasis on the freshman class, right, and trying to get that group involved and trying to build school spirit, as soon as they step foot on campus, and actually even before they get on campus with orientation sessions. We're involved with all of those. We host the parents of all the students over here during orientation sessions in the club level at our football stadium and talk about Bobcat athletics. We got a great relationship with our student success division on campus. That includes Residence Life, and working with a lot of those RAs and those hall directors to help get students out of campus and incentivize that. And then some of these larger events, I love what student success did with the Jumpstart event that they had last week on campus, which was about 7,000 students in the middle of the quad. It was like a rock concert, and it was essentially a orientation event for our new freshmen. But we were allowed to have DJ Kenny there. Kelly Dampus and his wife Beth got on stage with football jerseys. We were able to really interact with 7,000 plus freshmen at that event, and it was a great opportunity for us. And that was new, so we were excited to have that chance to kind of encourage those students to get involved with our athletics department, to come to games. And then we had Pandemonium, which was the event that we asked students to come over to the football stadium for. And that was a little bit different than previous years in terms of how we structured that, and also kind of that requirement standpoint. This was a volunteer event, so we had 3,000 students there. I'm an optimistic person, and to have 3,000 students voluntarily show up for that event, I thought was encouraging. I think that tells you that, hey, there's at least 3,000 students that are excited about Texas State athletics, excited about our football program. Hosted a really cool event, with fireworks and DJs, shutting the lights off and doing light shows and music and things like that. And I think the students left with a really good experience. And so their first impression of Bobcat Stadium, I think, was a good one.
I have a few questions here regarding facilities. This one comes from SSN_Texas State off of Twitter. Is an indoor practice facility for the football team in the works?
We need it. I'll say that. We're having discussions about it. We're working with our architect on campus on some ideas and some locations. And whether it's an indoor, maybe a covered facility or some things we're talking about right now. But I can tell you, President Dampus wants to get this project done. So yes, that's something that is on our short list of wants and needs.
Yeah. Another question from QG Experience, and I'm having a lot of fun saying that username, by the way.
QG. What is it?
Cute G Experience.
QG Experience. Okay.
Yes. So, but their question, all joking aside, how is the search for the stadium name sponsor coming along?
It's going well. So we're working with a third-party group, Independent Sports and Entertainment is the name of the organization, to kind of help us identify and seek out potential partners. I think it's a great opportunity for somebody, right? This is an institution, in my opinion, that you want to be engaged with, you want to be partners with, you want to have that kind of brand association, in my opinion, with where this university is going, with where we're going to take this athletics department, with the growth of this region. To me, this is a really good opportunity for somebody to partner with the university, to partner with our athletics department, to put their name on a stadium. Is going to have a lot of value. So we are starting to have those discussions with potential partners.
Another one regarding facilities coming from Facebook. What is the projected start date for the baseball and softball facility?
We don't have a projected start date right now. This is another project that we've got to fundraise for, just like the South End Zone project. So we're in the fundraising phase. Some preliminary numbers we're getting are between $8 million and $9.5 or so to get this project done. We've got about $1.75 million committed right now, so we got a ways to go. This is another thing that, do we look to maybe phase this in? Ideally, no. I want to do it all right, but we've got to fundraise, so we've got to continue to visit with people about kind of what the vision is for that facility. In terms of a timeline, at some point, we're going to have to make a decision if we do want to phase this in to get something done, particularly probably before the 2025 season. Do we have any funding in place to do what we want to do at that point? We'll have to make those decisions here, relatively soon, within the next several months, I would say, hopefully after the new year and maybe closer to the end of the baseball season. But yeah, for us, that's a fundraising project, right? We're going to have to get more support. So if you're listening and you want to hear more about the project, please give me a shout. I'd love to talk to you about it. But we need more support. We think we've got a plan in place to get in front of the right people. And I think, with the success of our baseball and softball programs, I think it's something that people will be excited about, getting behind once they kind of get to hear that vision, particularly, if they get to hear from our coaches.
This next question comes from life_with_LYD. Have you considered partnering with THO for students and for student athletes' mental health?
I'm not super familiar with THO, so I'd like to hear more about it. So whoever submitted this, feel free to send me some information about THO, and I'll look into it. I can tell you from a mental health standpoint, it's very important for us, right? One of the things that we did last October was we hired a new position in our athletics department, along with some assistants from our student health center. Our Dr. Emily Cabano, she's a counselor, sports psychologist, who works directly with our student athletes. She's in our Ford Medical Center, so kind of right over there by track and field. So, absolutely, really an important area for us. We want to make sure we have those resources for our student athletes to take advantage of a lot of stuff that's offered on campus as well through the Student Health Center. But I'd be happy to hear more about THO if you want to send me some information.
Another question from Instagram from Gentleman Dave. Are we ever going to leave Adidas?
We just essentially kind of renewed our contract with Adidas in the past year or so, which extends out to 2025, with Adidas and Game One Sports, actually. We really like Adidas. Our student athletes really like Adidas. Our coaches like Adidas. And again, we just extended renewed a contract with them, went out and bid on it, and stayed with Adidas. But yeah, so we're going to be in agreement with them for several more years.
Here's a fun one for you, Don, from Chrissy C.A. Harper on Instagram. What made you decide you wanted to be an athletic director?
Probably. I always go back to my experience as a student athlete, right? I had a great experience. That's what got me into athletic administration. I think the answer to that question, more honestly, probably be like what made me want to be the athletic director here. It's more about kind of unfinished business, where I think this place can be. I feel like our staff, myself, we owe it to the fans to make this place the way it should be. And that starts right now probably with our football program, making sure we're proactive and doing all we can to make sure we have a successful football program. So for me, specifically here, it's a little bit more about the challenge and also, my belief in where I think this athletics department can go.
Mm-hmm. All right, another fun question here for you, Don. Other than San Marcos, Texas, what is the best city to visit in the Sunbelt? This question, by the way, from Instagram, the user JMcFresh999.
Jay McFresh?
Jay McFresh.
Do we know who Jay McFresh is?
I think you and I both know him very well, actually.
Johnny Mac? Some big questions all the way from California. Mm-hmm. J Mac, glad you're still following. Best city in the Sunbelt outside of San Marcos. I don't know. Actually, all of our trips are great trips. Typically, the fan bases are all really good. Kind of unique college towns in most instances. Pick one. I really enjoyed our trip to JMU this past year, in regards to kind of seeing the city and the history there. Lafayette's a great place for our fans to take a trip to. Food's really good. I enjoyed Statesboro. A lot of times when you're there, we stay in Savannah, which is a great town. They're all pretty good. Those three are the first ones that, I guess come to mind.
Yeah. This one comes from Audrey Jean Tuttle on Instagram. Who would you pick for your lunchtime athletic staff volleyball dream team?
Volleyball dream team?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I'd be on it because I hadn't played in about 8 months maybe or so. It's been a long time since I've been out there. So if I did play, I'd have to surround myself with pretty good players. I know you play a lot. Lucas plays. Who else plays? Who else is in that game? Riddle, Case.
Yeah.
If I had to go out there with like 3 or 4 big dogs, I'm gonna grab Coach Hewitt. He's probably the best volleyball player. He is the best volleyball player in the department.
No doubt.
Play for his team right now. I'm going to grab Will Bryant, our tight ends coach, and play with him one time. That guy can freaking fly. And then I'll go with Audrey Tuttle, who played exactly works on marketing department. That would probably be my top three.
Yeah, I think Audrey asked that question knowing she was going to be a part of the answer.
Well, great question, Audrey. I'm glad you didn't ask about other sports. It's only volleyball I'm putting you in. If it's hoops, it's Grant Freeman. If it's quarterback, it's Grant Freeman.
There you go. Thank you for finally addressing that. Sure. Next one from Twitter, from Lee_Gravois. Which Sunbelt mascot, other than Boko, of course, would be the most fun on a float trip?
I'm going to get props all these other schools. Most fun. I mean, I like to stick with Boko, but what are the options? Who we got?
The ones that stand out to me, you have Yosef from App State.
All right. A lot of rivers in that part of the country. He might know what he's doing. I'm not sure if it's float. I picture him more on a raft. What else we got?
Got Gus, the Eagle from Georgia Southern, and they have Eagle Creek over there. Good body of water, a little river over there.
Yeah, okay. Like you can't fly off whenever it's just too hot or whatever. Who else we got? Who else?
Well, so I mean, in terms of the costumed mascots, Gus, Yosef, and Boko, I think are the ones that stand out the most. The ones I can recall off the top of my head, anyway. If you're talking about just the mascot themselves, the Chanticleers or the Dukes, the Monarchs, the Panthers, anything jump out to you there?
Very regal. The Panthers. What? No. I got. Let's go south. Let's go South Al.
Okay.
They got the Jaguar. Got the Jaguar, right?
Yeah.
Southpaw.
Southpaw is their costume.
So Jaguar, Southpaw. Jaguar is very comfortable in a water environment down there in Brazil. Was that the rainforest down there in Brazil with where they pounce on caimans in some of those National Geographic shows I watch. Let's go with the Jaguar. Put a couple cats together.
Okay, all right. I'm sure it'll be a very safe trip. This next one, hey, Johnny Mac wants another question for you on Instagram. What celebrity follows you on Twitter?
He would ask that because he knows this. Britney Spears follows me on Twitter.
What's crazy is that I can confirm this is true.
You can confirm, yes. You've been a before, yeah.
Britney Spears has 55 million followers. I don't know how many she is, in fact, following, what that number is, but you are one of them, Don. So,
all right.
Congratulations.
Nice, thanks. No idea why, obviously.
All right, last one here. This one from, again, QG Experience off of Twitter. Can we get something to recognize the one and only Tom Madden? He is the ultimate Bobcat and supports all athletics to the max. I believe he deserves something in honor of his legendary status.
Tom is the ultimate Bobcat. He does deserve recognition. We love Tom Madden and his wife Sherry, and so glad he supports us. We need to figure something out for Tom. I actually think we recognized Tom at a football game last year as kind of the Bobcat Club member of the game. But yeah, Tom is so vocal at the games. I know he's super vocal on social media supporting the Bobcats. We could put his name on the stadium, look him up with ISE, and get that set up. But yeah, Tom's a great fan, great guy, and a wonderful supporter of our coaches and student athletes. Yeah. We love you, Tom.
Well, hey, great questions from the fans, as always, in the Ask the AD podcast. Again, coming Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We appreciate you, Don, being willing to answer those questions as well. As the football team gets ready to play its opener on Saturday in Waco, do you have any other thoughts as a new season, is upon us with football, or any other message to the fans as we start a new football year?
Yeah, I would just say, these guys have worked so hard in the off season, the coaches, our football student athletes. So I know they're ready to get out there and play Baylor. Ready to to prove that we belong. On the top level of the Sunbelt Conference. We're recruiting and hiring coaches to win championships. I know Coach Kenny's extremely excited about what he has. Two good opportunities, right? Opening up at Baylor, opening up at UTSA, two really good football teams. So it'll be a good gauge to see how far we've come. I'm excited to see what we do on the field, and then from a kind of an ask standpoint, come out and support, right? And we've got some back-to-back home games, right? We got Jackson State, and then we got Nevada. Make sure that you put a lot of focus on both of those September games at home and coming out and trying to make sure that we've got a home field advantage because we start off with two really tough ones. But I'm excited to see all these new players gel with our old players and see what we can do.
Good stuff. Well, Don, appreciate it, and thanks again for answering the fans' questions.
Okay, thanks, Brad. Appreciate it, man. Great job with the podcast, as always. So thanks for doing this for our fans.
Yep, appreciate that. So again, that's Don Coryell answering your questions for the AD, and that's their wrap-up this States Up podcast. For Don Coryell, I'm Ray Freeman, reminding you to keep your States up, and we'll see you next time.